Hi, everyone. We're going to continue with our Vincent van Gogh Starry Night picture. We have made the stars, the wind, and the moon. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take nighttime colors, which would be your purples, your blue. You can use a little bit of light blue, and you could use a red violet. I wouldn't use black because I think it's going to end up looking too dark. But what you can do is around these stars, you can start putting different types of blues. Now I'm going to take my purple and I'm going to blend my blue violet in there, okay, because I already put down a blue. What I want to make sure I do is I'm going to go around each of these stars. I'm going to be careful not to go on top of the stars because I did such a nice job with the markers. I don't want the markers to be covered up by the crayons. And I'm not pressing too hard when I color either. I'm putting just medium pressure on and I'm making sure that this gets filled in, okay? What I might do to make the stars look like they're shining is I think inside the stars, I'm going to put yellow instead of going over and in between every single dash with the blues and the purples. Okay. So I'm filling this in. Maybe I'll take my magenta now and put some magenta in here. Okay. Um, But yeah, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I should probably put some yellow in the star areas to make the stars look like they are shining really bright. So see how I'm going all the way across here? It's beginning to look really nice. And here's some more purple. So I'm going to make sure I get my edges also because that's important. And I'm filling this in. Okay, now let's see what happens when I take maybe spring green or yellow, and I'm going to fill these areas in with the yellow to make them shine. Ooh, look at how nice. That actually looks really good. And I can actually go over the dashes and they still show up. So yeah, I would definitely use the yellows and the spring greens to make your stars stand out. Now, when it comes to the wind, I don't want my wind to be covered with blue and purple either, because then that's going to look too dark and it's going to look kind of messy too. So now that I have this filled in with these colors, I think maybe a green would work well with putting that color over the wind. So see how I'm doing a light green, or you could do a regular green, and that fills in really nicely too. Okay. So here is my light green going over the dashes of wind. Now, I'm going to make sure that I put some blue and purple going close to the bottom of the page, because at the bottom of the page, that's where I'm going to be putting my village. So I don't have to color all the way to the bottom, but you're going to get pretty close to the bottom because you don't want any white spots to show where you glue your village down. Okay, now when we get to the village, I would like you to use black paper. If you don't have black paper at home, you can use white paper and then we can color it later on. So I'm going to take the black paper, I'm going to fold it in half. Try to have your paper be the same size as the white paper that you used when you were doing your sky. Okay, now see how this part opens up? Try to have the folded side that doesn't open up right here. And what I want you to do is I want you to pretend that the ground and the buildings are attached. So here's a white line. I'm going to make a building. I'm going to go down to where that line is. I'm going to make sure I don't put a line going this way because you might cut that off. So I'm going to go that way. Then I'm going to make a bigger building. And I'm going to go down to where the line is, the ground line. But I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go that way. Okay, I'm going to make one more building. And then I'm going to make that line go off the page. Now, when I take my scissors, I'm only going to cut on the white. If you cut anything else off, you might ruin your cityscape. Okay, so only cut on the white. And you're going to cut both pieces out at the same time. Okay, so remember that they both have to be cut out at the same time. So this piece right here I don't need. I'm going to get rid of that so it's not in my way. Okay, but only cut on the white line. Okay, now, guess what's going to happen when I open this up? Am I going to have a full village or a half village? I'm going to have a full village. I love it! Okay, now, I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to glue this down. Okay, and I'm going to take my glue stick, glue all of this down, and I'm going to make sure that I put the glue on the ground area and the buildings, and then I am going to make sure that I glue this down really tight. I have to take my fingers and I have to put this like this right on the building. And see how there's little white showing? White areas showing where I didn't color down to the bottom. I'm just going to fill in those white areas. Next week, we're going to finish this project by making windows and grass on the buildings. So, doesn't that look awesome? All right, have fun. Enjoy.